The annual report, suffice it to say that, and if I may, I'll pass around the audit that was just conducted by Presnell Engage for the Moscow Urban Renewal Agency, if the city clerk can have it after the council is through with it. And this is all done, it's been adopted, accepted by the agency. We are required as an urban renewal agency, Idaho Code, we're required by March 31st to file with the governing body, which in this case is City Council, an annual report that talks about real property that's held by the agency, and if it's been held for more than 3 years, why it remains unsold, and what we intend to do with that real property. As far as what the agency is, as you all know, in 1995 the agency was created for the purpose of rehabilitation, conservation, redevelopment, and increasing, if you will, the public health, safety, morals, and welfare of the residents. This is your agency board and staff. Agency board on top, John McCabe, Steve McGeehan, Brandy Sullivan, your own Art Betke, Steve Drown, Commissioner Dave McGraw, and our own John Weber. I serve as interim director for Jeff Jones, who left us last May. Don Palmer serves as treasurer. Stephanie Claus, city clerk. And then finance staff, Joelle, help me out, last name.
Davlin? What did you say?
Danubalo. I won't live that one down. Joelle, who also does the finances for the agency.
No matter what.
There you go.
I know your last name, sorry.
She's the one who keeps us in line. And Ryan Armbruster, our attorney in Boise. But that's who staffs the agency. Tax increment, as has been explained in the past, when an urban renewal plan is approved by the City Council. It first goes through Planning and Zoning. Well, first goes through the URA, then Planning and Zoning, and are finally approved by the City Council. When that's approved within an urban renewal area, and we'll get to that in a moment, the date that that plan is approved, property tax values are set or frozen at that time, and the taxing entities, in this case, City of Moscow, Latah County, North Latah Highway District, Cemetery District, Library District, all keep receiving the same amount of tax revenues they've been receiving before, and any increases in value, the increased property taxes generated on that property are paid to the Urban Renewal Agency for projects within the tax allocation area or the project area. We have 2 districts at this point. The first is Alturas Technology Park, which came into being in 2016, July 1st of 2016 to be exact, and Legacy Crossing, which was approved by the City Council in 2008. As you can see, the Alturas is a fairly small district, while more encompassing is the Legacy Crossing district. And we've been reporting back and forth to council and certainly to the URA on things that are happening in that district. Just a quick recount as part of our annual report. Alturas Technology Park begun in 1996 with a base value of $6.4 million within the tax allocation area. Those funds, taxes generated, are still coming to the taxing entities. There's a current value in that district of over $22 million. So there's been a big increase in the almost 20 years, 19 and a half years since that district was established. As of last year, and this was prior to EMSI moving downtown, average wages in the area were over $50,000 within Alturas Technology Park. The economic impacts of the district were estimated at $26.7 million per year. Phase 2 of that project, which was set in 2005, there are 6 lots available for sale, all owned by the Urban Renewal Agency, and 1 lot that's held privately in Phase 1. And the district closure is scheduled for the end of this year, the beginning of 2016. When that district closes, the taxes that are currently paid in increment to the URA will come to the taxing district, so they will see an increase in their taxes. Legacy Crossing was established in 2008. Base value and current value still estimated at this point. We have a piece of property that's owned by the Urban Renewal Agency at 6th and Jackson, the old Latah Growers site where Otto's Produce used to be. Purchased in 2010. We're currently undergoing a brownfield cleanup, and there will be a realignment of the eastbound traffic turning lane, right-hand turn lane, and we've been working on that for some time. And an RFP for redevelopment was issued in November of 2014. Since that time, although it's not part of this annual report, 3 proposals were received for redevelopment of that property. The Urban Renewal Commissioners chose Sangria Downtown LLC as a successful proposer. Bill Belknap and I have been working, I as interim director and Bill is assisting at this point, dealing with or working with Sangria Downtown LLC on an exclusive negotiation agreement, which is the next step to redevelopment of that property. Got some great successes this past year. EMSI, which was out at Alturas Technology Park in the former Pacific Simulation Building, since moved downtown. You remember the Mark Wentz project, the old News Review Building. The city and the URA participated in a community GEM grant, for bringing fiber and expanding the sidewalk and the profile of the building in the front. We've got a really nice, profile sidewalk, expanded sidewalk, new trees, new lights, that sort of thing along Jackson Street. So that's a big success. EMSI expects to add another 10 jobs within this next fiscal year. So feel pretty good about that. Again, and they were the ones that were, they have all of their jobs in their facility average over $50,000 per year, so we're happy to have them in downtown Moscow within Legacy Crossing. The Intermodal Transit Center in College Street were also participated in by the URA. The bulk of that, of course, done by the city, but the coalition with the ITC, the coalition of the university, the Urban Renewal Agency, City of Moscow, and of course, although the URA did not have a lot of increment to participate, and it was mostly the city on the College Street redevelopment, it certainly has set the table for the style of redevelopment in that area, and a lot of good comments throughout the community on that. 6th and Jackson redevelopment process moves forward, as I've just reported on. We have a coalition grant, $475,000, of which there's a little less than $100,000 less. That has typically or traditionally been administered by our grants administrator, grants manager, as well as Jeff Jones when he was the URA exec. That's now Kyle Steele, Bill Belknap, and Elisa are working on that at this point. Terra Graphics is our contractor on it, and the property has been assessed, and there are cleanup efforts that will be going forward on the 6th and Jackson property. You can see there are 3 other properties other than 6th and Jackson that currently have undergone Phase 2 environmental site assessments: 1102 South Main, 207 North Main, and the industrial park site, Southeast Moscow Industrial Park. Again, 6th and Jackson is currently undergoing a plan for cleanup. Right now, property is owned by the agency because that is an integral part of the annual report. There are 6 lots. Those are those 6 upper lines that all say Alturas. Those were intended for sale. They were developed by the agency with the intent to sell them for technology purposes in line with the RTO zone and the conditions, covenants, and restrictions of Alturas. With the downturn in the economy in 2009, those properties have remained unsold, but there are currently efforts underway to try and get them sold. So we're working with our Palouse Commercial Real Estate has been retained by the agency for marketing. Staff continues to assist as our attorney in Boise assists as well.
Mr. Mayor, a question for Gary on that.
Walter.
With the closing of the Alturas URA, any impact on the lots, the fact they're still owned by the URA? How does
Yeah.
Without too much detail, how does all that work?
Well, we'll have a closure plan, but what will happen is those will be retained by the agency. The agency will then market them and whatever it takes to get them sold in accordance with the plan.
So closing the URA only changes the tax and tax increment
Exactly.
portion of the URA activity.
Precisely. And the URA goes forward, of course, because we have Legacy Crossing, and then we have our general activities. So, precisely. So they'll be marketed as, hopefully, to get them built on as quickly
URA
as possible.
properties.
Exactly.
URA is just the owner.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
And then, of course, Legacy Crossing, the 6th and Jackson property, which was purchased for Public Pathway Plaza, and it had been anticipated to sell at least part of it for a commercial site, as the agency had put out their RFP in November. So, I'll stand for any questions you might have. Again, it was filed, the report was filed with the city clerk prior to March 31st. It is now, and I meant to mention that when it was adopted by the agency, public comment was invited, none was received. So your job tonight is to, if you so desire, to accept the report.
With that, do I hear a motion from somebody?
I would make a motion that we accept the report.
I'd second that. Okay, John made a motion to receive and accept the 2014 annual report of the Moscow Urban Renewal Agency, seconded by Art. I'll start the roll with John.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
We accept it, Gary.
Thank you.